G'day, your favorite dictator here. Today we're going to be talking about university housing responsibility. Currently, Australia has approximately 800,000 foreign students in Australia. A little bit more, I think. Here's the problem. Australian universities have become major exporters of education. International students bring a lot of money into the country. However, there is an imbalance here. While the universities are bringing the money in, they're not supplying the beds to go with it. They're socializing the cost. All those people need a place to sleep, and they're going out into the general rental pool, the same ones that you and I share, pushing up the costs and reducing your chance of finding anywhere to sleep. The consequences are clear. Increased competition between international students and local residents for rental properties. Rapid rent escalation in university areas and surrounding suburbs. Rising prices. Speculation as investors respond to escalating rental yields. Wealth transfer from renters to asset owners. Growing inequality between property owners and non-owners. Australians, including students and working families, pushed into housing stress and, in extreme cases, homelessness. In some markets, rental growth has exceeded 20% annually. This isn't sustainable. The core issue isn't the international students themselves. It's a lack of infrastructure planning to match enrolment growth. Universities benefit financially from expansion, but the housing system and everyday Aussies absorb that strain and that cost. It's a structural policy failure, but it can be corrected. A new principle. Growth must pay for growth. If an institution expands in a way that increases housing demand, it must contribute proportionally to housing supply. No sector should be permitted to privatize revenue while socializing costs. In other words, they can't make all the money and then force you to pay all the negative consequences of it. Universities that enroll international students at scale must ensure those students are accommodated without distorting local rental markets. I will introduce a policy requiring all universities to supply housing to their foreign students. Accommodation must be purpose-built, multi-story, 20 plus floors, maybe 30, high density, located on campus or in designated university housing zones. If they have a small amount of students and there's a lot of different educational facilities in the area, they could use a common housing, which they all put money into to support, and not drawn from existing residential housing stock. These have to be new, specific for international students. Excess space can be given to others, but the core idea is we want this space that is dedicated for students. International enrolment caps will be directly linked to verified accommodation capacity. No housing capacity, no addition to enrolment growth. Future enrolment increases must be accompanied by approved housing development plans. Current students also need to have housing developed to support the current accommodation requirements. Why this works? It stabilizes the rental market. It changes the demand from competing with you and putting pressure on everyone to putting them into dedicated housing on campus. Protects Australians from housing displacement. Local residents should not compete with institutional growth strategies. It aligns incentives. If universities wish to expand international enrolment, They must invest in the infrastructure required to support that growth and encourages efficient urban density. Well-designed high-density student housing near campuses reduces urban sprawl and transport strain. What is it? It's pro-accountability in the end. International education is valuable, but it must operate within a system that protects housing sustainability for Australian citizens. The broader vision: Australia cannot solve its housing crisis if large institutional actors are permitted to increase demand without contributing supply. This reform is part of a wider principle. Every major demand generator must carry housing responsibility. Growth must be structured, expansion must be planned. Institutions must bear the true cost of their business model. No longer will they be able to say, we're going to take in all this money, and all you little citizens are going to have to pay for it through indirect costs. That's my plan for today. If you want to support me, go to dictator.au, hit the donate button, and donate what you can. I look forward to seeing you for my next video.